All right. Hey there, guys. It is Ben at 10 on this Thursday, September the 11th. I am meteorologist Ben Peine. If you're on this early, you might be watching the replay. So thanks for watching, whether it's in the afternoon or later on tonight or the next day. Thanks for also dropping in the comments, letting us know where you're watching from. Love to see that representation all throughout southern Indiana and beyond and into Kentucky, of course. And a beautiful start to the day. We've got sunshine, cool temperatures starting off. We're going to have those cool nights, cool mornings where we can keep the windows open, but we're going to start to build up the afternoon heat with highs around 90 degrees as we head through the weekend. But the humidity won't stay bad. This long, dry weather pattern that we have all the way possibly through next week could lead to what we call flash drought or rapid onset drought. So that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, when we might see a change in that weather pattern. Maybe this is summer's last gasp as we head through the next week, which will be our final week of summertime as well. So we're going to look at that as we look at the long-range forecast here coming up as well. As always, we've got plenty to talk about. We've got your weather jokes. We've got your weather history. We've got a lot of interesting weather information as well, looking at the soil moisture over the next couple of weeks and digging in to that weather model data as well coming up. So again, thanks for tuning in to Ben at 10 on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Peine on Facebook, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media, EXTOL. Search that in YouTube and find us there too. Thanks for liking or subscribing. extolmag.com/weather too. So lots of ways to find us here. And let me go ahead and bring up the forecast. If you're new to the show, I'd like to give you the forecast right off the bat, and then we'll dig deeper into the forecast, and that will take us to about 10:15, 10:20, and then we dig deep into the weather models. And that is the nerdy weather dork portion of the show, and then we'll do a recap a little bit later on. Typically, we run about 45 minutes. Yesterday, for some reason, I talked over 50 minutes. But we've got you covered with everything weather-wise. Feel free, again, to drop in the comments if you have any questions or anything about the weather. We can try to bring up some other maps as well. Speaking of bringing up some maps, let's take a live look outside. That's not really a map. It's just a camera. Live look outside. Clear sky, as you can see here in uptown New Albany. And we've also got a different look outside. This is the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. There's going to be almost no wind out there today. The wind may be like 2 miles per hour, if anything. So not going to be much breeze with a sprawling area of high pressure. High pressure is sinking air, stable air, and really doesn't allow much in the way of cloud cover and that kind of thing. So that is a look at the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. And then this here is a look at extolmag.com/weather. We get the live stream up, interactive radar, current temperatures, 3-day forecast, 7-day forecast, and a lot of our different regional maps as well. Today is Thursday, so we get the update from the drought monitor for our region, which places basically all of our area in either yellow or the tan color here. That means abnormally dry weather conditions, or it means level 1 drought, moderate drought. And I think that'll just continue to get worse. We'll look at the Climate Prediction Center's U.S. hazards outlook, which puts us in a potential rapid onset drought condition. So something we'll be covering here on the show this morning. And then I want to bring up as well our weather headlines to get you started on this September the 11th. A bit warmer today. I think we'll see some mid-80s out there. Might see, around 87, 88 on some of the bank thermometers out there. And then near 90 this weekend. I think around 89 or so, 90 Saturday, 91 Sunday, I think is what I've got going. And then we could stay kind of level off in the low 90s through much of next week too. And again, we're talking about the dry pattern continuing for a long, long time. And we'll take a look at those maps here as well in just a second. So let me go ahead and bring this back up. We'll take a look at some of the comments popping into the show. Again, thanks for watching here this morning. I'll go ahead and hit the back button here as we bring it up full screen. And here is that big interactive radar at extolmag.com/weather. And again, not much happening out there as we look live, and those current temperatures in the 60s, low 70s. And if you want to, you can look all throughout Central America, down into the Caribbean, and take a look at the weather and the lightning and kind of peruse all throughout our hemisphere here with the interactive radar. So very cool there. All right, getting started here with a few announcements before we dig into your forecast here. And I just want to thank our partners for allowing us to do what we do here with Extol Weather and Ben at 10. So we've got Lions Roofing out of Memphis, Indiana. They get you covered, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime in Southern Indiana and in Kentucky. Just give them a call, 812-294-3595. You can also head to their website, lionsroofingco.com, lionsroofingco.com. You see the free estimates, more about their company, what they have to offer, all right there. So there you see, serving customers in Louisville, Kentucky, and Southern Indiana. Also, you might need help with insurance. They've had actually some rate drops here with American Family Insurance. That's what I got to see on my latest renewal. So I want to thank Michael Long for helping us out for probably almost a decade here with our insurance. Proud to be American Star Certified Agency, excellence in customer experience. And you can call him, tell him I sent you if you want to get a quote, 812-578-3072. And his landing page here with more contact information and just more information in general at amfam.com. Libs Paving, our friends here in the Knobs, the top asphalt contractor around. They've got a lot of dry days, thankfully, to get some jobs done across the region. You might see their trucks out and about. You can apply now. There's all these available opportunities. If you have a friend or family member, know somebody wants an opportunity, there you go. That's Libs, L-I-B, B as in Ben, S, paving.com. And you can also level up your career by heading to Ivy Tech Community College. And if you're in high school, know someone in high school, maybe you have a high schooler in your house, make sure they are hooked up with Prosser or their dual credit at their high school or directly with Ivy Tech, saving thousands of dollars, getting that head start in the post-secondary education. And then they can meet you wherever you are in your career and in your life. And they've got 42 different programs and counting here. And if you ever want to check out the campus, they urge you to head over here and schedule a visit. You can RSVP with Tuesdays at the Tech for in-person assistance, getting started at Ivy Tech, registering for classes, career development, paying for college. All this can seem kind of confusing, but they make it really easy for you, again, with that one-on-one help right there. All right, we're about time to get into that forecast here on your Thursday. Let me bring this here back up, and we will start to get after it here. So also, Extol Weather, we can help you out with marketing, advertising solutions, or if you just have a weather question and you want to connect, email me, ben@extolmag.com or jason@extolmag.com for more information. All righty here. We have on our Thursday morning, as usual, Beverly Haggis. Thanks for popping in, being the very first. Good morning there from Borden, Indiana. We've got, oops, I didn't pop up your comment. There you go. And Orlean Whitlow, good morning. Just had a few drops of rain yesterday at Hodgesville, not much. And the internet is slow again. So, yeah, there was not much to talk about. A few areas got a little bit of a shower, maybe holding down the dust a little bit, but that is not going to help the drought conditions across the area. Most areas just ended up being dry. And we've got Vicki Berger. Hello this morning. Going to be a beautiful day out there. It is. The humidity is still not bad. Just gets a little bit warm in the direct sunshine in the afternoon. In the shade, it feels good with the pretty low humidity across the area. So again, if you're just hopping on here, we're talking about rapid onset drought, flash drought. Never heard of that. We're going to talk about it. And the potential for some elevated wildfire danger as we look ahead too. The one thing that helps mitigate the wildfire danger when we're this dry is that we don't have a lot of wind. The atmosphere is pretty calm overall. So, all right, so another live look out there at the all blue sky overhead here throughout the region, and bringing up the weather headlines. It get a bit warmer today, near 90 this weekend, and the really dry weather pattern continues. This is the driest weather pattern we've had all year. Sunny and a bit warmer today, 78 at noon, 86 this afternoon, 74 at 8 p.m. Again, there might be some downtown areas that hit maybe around 87, 88, kind of popping up with those temperatures today, and just a very light breeze, if anything, out there for that play ball forecast. We have a lot going on this weekend. Of course, there's Bourbon and Beyond kicking off today out at the Expo Center. We've got the Lanesville Heritage Festival today through the weekend. Upper 80s, around 90 degrees. Barbara Haas, thanks for tuning in this morning. Good morning to you. And so a lot of fun happening there in Lanesville, in Louisville with Bourbon and Beyond. We've got the J-Town Gaslight Festival that continues this weekend. So So much happening across the area, and thankfully the weather will be dry for it all. Maybe we'll remember some sunscreen if you're out there in the afternoon. We've got a good sunny morning in Bedford with that report from Dennis Gregory. Thanks for popping in here this morning, Dennis. Always good to see you. And we've got the stupid weather jokes, and I guarantee you these will be stupid, maybe next level stupid. So here we go. I know a lot of funny jokes about umbrellas, but they usually go over people's heads. The hurricane just blew the roof off the cheese factory. Debris is everywhere. Get it? Brie? All right. If you have to explain them, they're probably not that great. All right. What did the hurricane say to the coast? I have my eye on you. All right. That I'm going to say that does qualify as stupid weather jokes. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to give these a 4 out of 10 this morning. Throwing myself under the bus for putting those jokes together here this morning. Here's today's weather history. And again, we're in tropical. September is the peak tropic season. So you're going to see a lot of that. There are a couple of really interesting ones here. 1897, Indy got a record high of 95. 1961, Hurricane Carla made landfall, battering central Texas with 175-mile-per-hour winds, 17 inches of rain. And most of the fatalities were actually associated with tornadoes spawned by the powerful storm. And we've got another pop in here from Tim Furnish from Madison. Good morning, sir. Thanks for watching. I'd like to take a little visit up to Madison soon. It's been a while since I've been able to just kind of walk around there. Beautiful town. 1974, Eastern Airlines Flight 212 crashed just short of the runway because of dense fog. 82 people on board, 72 died. And this is the interesting part, including the father and 2 older brothers of comedian Stephen Colbert. 1976, Idaho, Oregon, Montana. So think of these places here. Drenched by heavy rainfall from the remnants of Tropical Storm Kathleen. That is a rare path over the western United States after striking Mexico. So again, you don't think about tropical systems very much up in Idaho and Oregon and Montana. 1992, sustained winds 145 miles per hour, gust of 175. Hurricane Iniki pulverized Kauai, the worst storm in recorded history in Hawaii and one of the 10 worst in history, causing $2 billion in damage and between 2 and 3 billion in damage. And in 2014, Rapid City, South Dakota received 1.6 inches of snow, which was a new record for that early in the season. And Mount Rushmore received an amazing 8 inches, which was just 1/5 off a record September snowfall. So indication that fall is around the corner when you start to get these early snowfall potentials. And our countdown to fall things continues. Autumn begins in 11 days, average highs in the 60s in 38 days, Halloween in 50, average first flurries, speaking of snow, in about 65 days. Ragweed is all over the place, and that is bothering many of us, many sufferers out there. Might need to get those allergy meds going. And so this is, now we're talking about some drought conditions here. Okay, guys. So this first map is going to be the European weather model over the next 8 days. Rainfall total, adding up the rainfall day by day, which is basically 0. So we've got a good morning from Lillian Lasley. Thanks for tuning in. Very nice out there this morning. Here we go into drought talk. So the rainfall total, this is the European weather model through Friday, September 19th, shows just a hole of dry weather over us. High pressure, keeping it dry. On the edge of high pressure, you get rain up in the Great Plains and northern Midwest and then out in the tropics. Got a good morning from John Fox. Thank you, sir, for watching this morning. So there is the bullseye of dryness over the Ohio Valley in the deep south. Now moving ahead, this is the predicted soil moisture anomaly. So everything in the orange and red indicates really dry soil over the next 2 weeks and getting worse. And that is why the Climate Prediction Center U.S. Hazards Outlook has rapid onset drought or flash drought potential over our region. So this obviously gives agriculture interests, farmers, an idea of maybe having to water more and just the potential for a prolonged stretch of hot, dry conditions across the region. So that is the flash drought potential from the Climate Prediction Center. Our forecast today for your Thursday, September the 11th, the high of 86 degrees, mostly sunny and a bit warmer than it has been. Clouds helped out for much of the day yesterday for much of the area, but I don't think we'll see as many clouds today as that disturbance has moved off to the southeast. Light and variable wind, almost no wind out there today. And our sunset at 7:56. And tonight, we keep the windows open, listen to the bugs out there. Low of 62 degrees. So after sunset, it cools off very efficiently after some warm days ahead. And pretty much no wind, just calm tonight. Our sunrise at 7:22. Your forecast tomorrow for your Friday, September 12th, 62 out the door, 80 at noon, and going 88 for the afternoon high. So that's going to put us about 4 degrees above normal for this time of the year. Normal low is at 63. Sun up at 7:22, sunset tomorrow at 7:55. And here is that long dry spell that continues across the region. So tomorrow, 88 down to 63 at Friday night. So again, at least we have some cool-ish nights. It's not going to be a humid heat. It's going to be a fairly dry heat on the way, which is typical for your September heat. 89 Saturday, right around 91 Sunday. So hovering near 90 degrees during the maximum heating in the afternoons all the way through the end of our next work week. It might not be until right around fall begins, or right around possibly 21st, 22nd, the GFS weather model had some potential for a weather pattern change with maybe some rain chances with a front there and the potential for a cool down around that time as well. So we are going to look at that once again. We've looked at that last couple days around the 21st, 22nd at a weather pattern change. So that's what we're going to look at as we dig into the long range weather model data here, which of course is the old Ben on a limb segment here. Big Happy's out with the dark roast, no sugar, no cream, but I had the sugar and cream in the previous coffee drink. Creature of habit here. All right. Let's go ahead and bring up the weather graphics. Let me get rid of that. Bring up this. And here we go. So the radar and satellite is very, very quiet across the region and really across much of the United States, and just a big area of high pressure controlling our weather and giving us dry conditions around here. So there you can see coast to coast and border to border, there is not a whole lot going on. Not a whole lot in the tropics either, which is kind of ironic since it's the peak of the hurricane season in September. Okay, so there we go with the quiet start across the region. And I do, since we were talking about the rapid onset drought, flash drought potential, we bring up the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook and take a look at this. When the colors get more orange or red, the confidence for above normal temperatures goes up. So you can see that is the case for us. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook. So this takes us past the 7-day forecast. High confidence and high temperatures. So again, hovering in the upper 80s, low 90s, summer heat returns, but thankfully the summer humidity, not quite, not going to be very, very humid for us. We got a live report from Lillian Lasley, 72 degrees at her house. Thank you very much. So we've got a big ridge of high pressure. So not only does it build the heat, it also builds more dry conditions across the region. So that is the 6 to 10 day outlook. Now, what I'd like to see past that, again, maybe when we get to around the 22nd, is the potential for some cooler temperatures on the way. So when we look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, this still might be influenced by the first half of the 8 to 14 day outlook, which we'll see if it'll pop up here. Maybe not. Let me try to pop it on and pop it back on. Is that the 8 to 14 day? There's the 6 to 10. And then here is the 8 to 14. And the data is not loading. We'll try again a little bit later. Actually, if you ever want to, you can go to, bring up another little browser here. You can go to cpc.nsep.noaa.gov. And then this would take you to there's the 8 to 14 day outlook. So here are the temperature outlooks. These are just kind of interesting to look at for long range data. So there's the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, which is above normal as well. So week and a half, I'd say, yeah, above normal. Maybe toward the end of that, we'll see a little bit of relief. So let's try to look ahead here. And there was only one weather model today that tried to produce the most isolated shower chance you can imagine. And that was the NAM 3-kilometer. I don't know if it'll still show it or not, but let's go and zoom in here with the hour by hour for today with the NAM 3-kilometer high resolution weather model. What I'm looking for is just a blip of green, maybe at some point today, but I think 99% of our area will be dry. Just southeast of Lexington, there's a little green that pops up there at 3 p.m. Here's 4 o'clock today. Okay, so there we go. Do you see that? I mean, you got to look really closely. Don't really obsess on where there might be this cloud that could grow and produce a super isolated shower. I don't think it'll happen, but that's just showing you at 4 p.m. how isolated the chance is, with most areas, again, staying dry. This is around 5 o'clock today. There's not much happening. So that's why I didn't even put the rain chance on the 7-day forecast or on today's forecast. It's just such a small chance, like probably a 1% chance or less of a shower. If you get that shower, then you can be like, what about that 1% chance you're talking about, Ben? I'll be like, well, you got very lucky. So there you can see it's pretty dry across the region. So if I bring up the high resolution rapid refresh weather model, and as we look through the afternoon, I don't think it even shows anything popping up. Again, the only model I could find really was the NAM 3-kilometer that showed that little isolated shower. So this is at 4 o'clock today with the high resolution rapid refresh weather model, the HRRR. At 6 p.m., it's got a little blip out west near Dale, Indiana. And that's it. So there, again, not much happening here. Now let's go ahead and bring up the GFS as we look out toward the longer range outlook. And I mean, I'm going to go to like next Friday because it wasn't showing any rain over the next week. So next Friday would be the 19th. Okay. Still has us pretty dry with rain out west and rain to the north. This is Friday the 19th. And then this is Friday evening. Oh, look at that. So if this were correct, again, we're on the Ben on a Limb segment. We are more than a week out. This is next Friday, the 19th evening. That shows the potential of some rainfall. So would that be coming with a front? And what would be behind that front? And look at all that dry air up in Canada that could be dropping down our way as we head toward the first day of fall. So as I go into the Saturday, the 20th, still has maybe just a touch of humidity across our area, maybe kind of a stalled out front is what that's showing. And the 21st on Sunday doesn't really have that front moving through, but what about rain chances that weekend? So this would not be this weekend. This would be the following weekend. It shows a little bit of a rain chance around the area. Again, maybe with that stalled out front. I'm heading back to Saturday the 20th. So maybe the following weekend we'll start to pick up some rain chances with perhaps a little bit of a weather pattern change. Again, I want to bring up the dew points. This is looking at the amount of moisture in the air. And the dew points don't look to be too bad. So it's still kind of a dry heat, especially off to the north. And then let me go to, so the 20th, 21st is Sunday. 22nd, Monday would be the first day of fall. Fairly dry air in place. And let's bring up the temperatures here. This is 5 p.m. on the 22nd of September. And not too bad. Maybe a little bit of a cool down around that time. So it's kind of backing off on the more significant cool down that it had yesterday. But it does have a bit of a weather change there, and perhaps a much-needed rain chance around the region by not this weekend, but the following weekend. Now let me bring up the total amount of precipitation from the GFS weather model for like the next 8 days. So I want to go to Friday the 19th. And there you can see it. We're in the dry hole here over the next 8 days. So not only the European weather model, which we saw a little bit earlier, but also the GFS weather model, that is the 8-day rainfall total, which is nothing. Everything off to the northwest or off to the southeast. So that is why we're talking about rapid onset drought and the potential for worsening drought conditions here over the next week, which could lead to elevated wildfire danger. But thankfully, the winds are not going to be very strong over the next week to make the potential for the spread of wildfire worse if that were to occur. Just be mindful if you're having that fire. There might be some burn bans to watch out for, some county burn bans or some city or municipality burn bans to watch out for this week ahead, as things are just really dry across the area. So that's the total amount of rainfall. Wet to our northwest and off the East Coast, pretty much nothing for us. So that is the long range 8-day complete rainfall total right there. Real quick, I was just going to check the upper levels. The 500 millibar winds is getting up toward the jet stream. Oops, let me take that out of the way. I was just going to see if there's any significant dip in the jet stream in the long range outlook which might promote. Okay, so that is something to keep an eye on, perhaps. That would be a dive in the jet stream right here. A big trough. Those are some strong winds aloft. There you can see over 100 miles per hour. So the jet stream divides warm air south, cooler air north, or cold air north. And if that starts to dive to the south, then you're going to get a significant weather pattern change. Now, this is looking a long way down the road. Not 100% chance that would happen. And let's see if that jet stream continues to dive south as we go towards the 24th, 25th. So what would be underneath that jet stream? It would be a push of Canadian dry air. And this is looking at 342 hours out on September the 25th. So we're going late September days here, which shows the potential for some cooling fronts to be moving through around that time. So you can see lows in the 40s and 50s. Going to the 25th afternoon, showing some 70s, 60s, 70s across the region. So we'll see if it happens. Again, that is the very long range outlook. Again, 351 hours out. So with that said, and looking at the long range outlook, that has been Ben on a limb there. All right, so let's clear that out and get back to the forecast here. I think that's all we have to show with the weather models. As we look at the tropical data, again, there's not much to talk about there. Bring up the radar and satellite, and we'll look across the globe here at the tropical weather. Here's a look at the active systems. So there's nothing in the Atlantic, which is good news. There's a little tropical low there done in central Mexico and the Pacific. And really not seeing anything else happening. So there you go. Thanks again. Quiet in the tropics for now. Let me go ahead and reload the forecast here for you. And here we go. Weather headlines for your September the 11th. A bit warmer out there today in the mid-80s, near 90 through the weekend and in through next week. Rapid onset drought conditions, elevated wildfire danger as a result of that as well. Things just too dry. Not a great end to the growing season. And a dry weather pattern continues. If your yard is like mine, it is crispy, it is tan, it is dry. But I might have to knock down the weeds a little bit. Your play ball forecast today, 78 at noon, 86 this afternoon. Temperatures right near normal for this time of the year. And then once that sun angle lowers in the sky later in the day, those temperatures drop off pretty quickly. And again, it'll be a cool night ahead with lows in the low 60s. Good weather for the 50th Lanesville Heritage Festival, Bourbon and Beyond, J-Town Gaslight Festival. More, it's festival season across the area, and it's good weather, all dry for that. Sunscreen, hydration, with the dry air. We had the stupid weather jokes, and they are stupid. I know a lot of funny jokes about umbrellas, but they usually go over people's heads. The hurricane just blew the roof off the cheese factory. Debris is everywhere. What did the hurricane say to the coast? I have my eye on you. All right, so those all qualify for stupid weather jokes. I gave it a 4 out of 10. And a lot of weather history there. I always will post this around noon or so. And so there was a lot of interesting facts here that I can show you a little bit later, or you can go back and I did read all of these, but this is a book here of all the weather history today for today's date. How many days until autumn begins at 11 days, average highs in the 60s and 38 days, Halloween in 50 days, and average first flurries 65 days. And the allergy report remains high thanks to ragweed flying all over the place. And this is a look at the rainfall total. We looked at the GFS rainfall total over the next 8 days. This is the European weather model, which shows, again, dry conditions for the next 8 days at least, or at least mostly dry conditions. That means the predicted soil moisture anomaly, everything in the yellow to red, indicates way drier than normal soil. And that means that the Climate Prediction Center has put out their U.S. hazards outlook, and there is rapid onset drought potential or flash drought over our region. So today, mostly sunny, 86 degrees, light and variable wind. Most areas are going to stay dry. If you were watching earlier, there was only one little weather model that showed anything very, very isolated popping up. So again, mainly dry across the area. Low tonight, 62 degrees. Keep the windows open. Calm conditions. Sunrise at 7:22. And for your Friday, September the 12th, 62 out the door, 80 at noon, 88 for the afternoon high. And so 84 is our normal high. So we're climbing to near about 5 degrees or so above normal. Normal low 63. So we're keeping our temps at night at least near normal with those cool, refreshing mornings out there. So it's pretty awesome if you're up early enough around sunrise, have that coffee out on the back deck, feeling good out there. 7-day forecast, upper 80s, low 90s through the long range, lows in the lower to mid 60s. Just a whole lot of nothing happening other than that September sunshine continuing across the area. Normal high 84, and again, that normal low at 64 degrees. And as we get towards the end of our Ben at 10, another live look outside here at 10:31 a.m. on this September the 11th. And things are, again, just rather quiet across the region here this morning. I do want to give another shout out to our partners for allowing all this to be possible here for you and for all of us to be here with the weather family every day. And I want to remind you, you can also get in contact with me anytime. Ben at extolmag.com, Jason at extolmag.com. I check it every day. If you ever have a weather question, want to see a map that you're not seeing, maybe you're going on vacation, you want to know what the weather is, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you want some advertising or marketing solutions for you, we'll be your Southern Indiana megaphone and beyond into Kentucky. You can always reach out to us, Ben or Jason at extolmag.com. Let me go ahead and bring this one back up here. And thanks to, again, our partners at Lions Roofing, lionsroofingco.com. And they are protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. And they've got commercial, residential, custom home solutions, financial advice here for you too. They also, if you go to the career section here, they have a job opening, a roofing repair technician. So you can reach out to them, 812-294-3595. That is LYONS, Lions Roofing, lionsroofing.com. Go to amfam.com and then put in Michael Long. You'll see my insurance agent with a recent price reduction in the car insurance, which I love to see. So you can message him here at amfam.com, or you can give him a call and get that quote and tell him I sent you, 812-578-3072. A lot of job openings here at libspaving.com. You can see them all, and it's just as easy as doing what I'm doing right here. You click on, there's a CDL driver job opening, there's superintendent job openings. You just hit apply for the job, and that's how you do it. Go right to the career form right there. And you can also change a career, get educated in a career right here at Ivy Tech Community College, right in our backyard in Sellersburg at their campus. You go to locations, go to Sellersburg, and they can hook you up, and they will help you out very much so. If you go to Tuesdays at the Tech right there, you can scroll down RSVP for Tuesdays at the Tech and get started Ivy Tech, register for classes, career development, paying for college, and they are in the beginning of their first fall sessions, but they've got a second fall session. So if you want to get started, there you can see the dates of everything happening there. September 15th, spring registration begins. September 21st, 4-week fall session ends. September 22nd, fall 12-week classes begin. 4-week fall class session number 2 begins. So there you see everything that's happening there. You can also click on the Ivy Tech Experience and learn a whole lot more. They've actually got like 3D tours and things that you can see right there at ivytech.edu. So boom, there you go. Thank you to, again, all of our partners. Thank you for watching here every day. I'm sweating a little bit. The bright lights here in front of me. All right, last comment popping in, and it's a good one here. Nice and simple, and I hope you all have a nice day on this September 11th. Cheers to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. As you can see, we're clear sailing for a long time. And as I mentioned the last couple of weeks, sometimes it can be too much of a good thing when it can lead to drought. It can lead to wildfire dangers across the area. So just watch out for any of that outdoor burning. All right, tomorrow is going to be our TGIF live, Ben, at 10. So join me tomorrow morning. Might be live from the back deck. We'll see about that. And as always, you can find me on my page right there, Peine, on Facebook, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube. And I want to bring one thing back up here before we completely head out. Just a reminder of a really good resource here for Southern Indiana and beyond. It is extolmag.com, extolmag.com. That's where we have our live stream up right now. Click that. We're live on YouTube right there. Boom. You can find more about me right there. Interactive radar, current conditions, 7-day forecast, much, much more. Interactive radar, which is awesome as well. That'll do it, guys. Hope you have a great Thursday today. We'll see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend. I know there's a lot going on, and hope you have a wonderful day out there and enjoy that warm sunshine. We'll see you tomorrow.